In our discussion, the People's Rainbow Coalition is a coalition of 4 political parties formed in October 2017 by former ZANU-PF Vice President Joyce Mujuru. Joyce Mujuru was Zimbabwe's Vice President from 2004 to 2014, and she's the coalition's party presidential candidate in the 30 July elections. The coalition's stated vision for Zimbabwe is an inclusive, democratic developmental state in which economic opportunities exist for all, where the powers and actions of government are lawful and where those in authority are held accountable to the people. And now joining me in studio is Fortune Mlalazi, Deputy Spokesperson of People's Rainbow Coalition in Zimbabwe. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we have heard that in Zim that a lot of parties have emerged, and of course we understand that we know that in this coalition there are 4 parties that have been formed. What will this party be bringing to the table with the different parties coming in?
Well, I actually think at this stage it is not about what the parties are bringing, but it is about what Zimbabweans want. Zimbabweans have come a very long way, and they've been suffering for a long time. So all what they want now is a country that is free, is a country that gives them freedom to do all what they want in terms of their development, in terms of the economy and everything else. So we are talking about what people want. Not what we want as a party.
Have you gone out and found out what people are asking for from the party?
Well, to a large extent, you don't have to go out. The people of Zimbabwe are very clear. The people of Zimbabwe that are scattered all over the world want to come back home. The people of Zimbabwe that are scattered all over, they want the status of the country restored. When I'm talking about the status of the country, I'm talking about what the country used to be. That's what they want. So it is very clear. Therefore, all what we as a coalition need to do is to create an environment that is conducive for Zimbabweans to begin the journey of restoration.
And when you're going to tackle that journey of restoration, we know that poverty and unemployment, especially among the youth, is still taking place. But how are you going to tackle that issue?
Well, we have come up with a document, our manifesto, called The Idea. In that manifesto, it is clearly stated how we are going to use our natural resources that are there to restore the glory of the country, how we are going to use our own human resources that we have, our own people that are scattered all over. We're going to invite them to come back and rebuild. So it is the people's idea, the people's agenda.
And we know that there are 3 other opposition coalitions for the 2018 elections that are taking place in July, which is the Coalition for Democrats. We have your party as well, the People's Rainbow Coalition. We have MDC Alliance. The elections are around the corner. Do you stand out from the other coalitions?
Well, it is for the people to judge if we are standing out. But what I can say is that, yes, we have a program, a better program that is very clear, a program that is very basic in terms of rebuilding our country. We have not promised people things that we cannot achieve. We are talking about reindustrialization. We are talking about creating employment. We are talking about taking kids back to school. We are talking about our hospitals. Those are very basic things that we are talking about. So that is the idea that we carry.
And with the parties that you have decided to bring into the coalition, did you allow just any party to be a part of the People's Rainbow Coalition?
From the onset, especially from our side, the People's Democratic Party, which is a partner in the coalition, when we went for Congress, one of the resolutions was that we needed to go into a coalition. We needed to unite the people of Zimbabwe that were so divided politically. Therefore, the door has always been open. Our presidential candidate, Madam Joyce Mujuru, has always been so clear also that we need everyone to come together So those that heeded the call are in PRC.
And I know that you also touched on natural resources to help out the Zimbabwean in terms of taking them out of poverty, creating job opportunities. But we know that a lot of corruption took place when we looked at the natural resources that Zimbabwe has. How are you going to be able to tackle that situation?
That is one area that needs serious attention, where the Mugabe regime used to loot our diamonds, our gold, our timber, and everything else that we have that is a resource. Therefore, in our document, the idea document, we are so clear as to how we are going to be able to harvest our resources and how we are going to use the proceeds from the resources. One of those pillars is transparency and accountability. Hence, we are saying, let us rebuild our country based on these pillars.
And now, we know that Joyce Mujuru was Zimbabwe's vice president from 2004 to 2014, and she's the coalition's party presidential candidate. Why have you still decided to go with her in 2018?
Okay. It is a fact, yes, that Joyce Mujuru was Robert Mugabe's deputy. And she has made it clear to some of us that there were quite a number of things that she did not agree with while she was in government. And she for several occasions, told us that she would oppose quite a number of things. Unfortunately, Mugabe did not listen. And when we met as a coalition to choose a candidate, we agreed on her candidature based on quite a number of reasons. One of those is that she has experience in government and she is able to lead. And we have seen her in our meetings. She's able to lead us and she is a very honest person. That is one of the things that we have seen in her. Yeah.
Now, according to reports and analysts as well, they're saying that Joyce Mujuru has a big ego and a selfishness, which will send her to the political cemetery after the elections. What do you make of such comments coming from analysts and reports as well?
Well, I'm not sure how they come up with those comments, especially before elections. But what I know is that she, on several occasions, not only called for unity amongst opposition players, but was able to walk up to Morgan Tsvangirai and say, let us unite. She walked the streets of Gweru holding hands with Morgan Tsvangirai, uniting the people of Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, Morgan Tsvangirai passed on. She signed a memorandum of understanding with Morgan Tsvangirai to say we are going to work together. Therefore, the issue of ego, I'm not sure where it is coming from. For some of us who sit with her, who discuss issues with her, we do understand her. Therefore, I think it is unfortunate that some people have such views, but however, they are entitled to those views.
And at the moment, we know that Mnangagwa has been going out on the ground and listening to people. I wanted to also find out if Joyce is also doing the same.
I'm not sure if Mnangagwa has been listening to people. He has been going out telling people instead of listening to people. It is true that Joyce Mujuru has been going out having conversations, because we believe it's not about listening only, but it's about having conversations with the electorate. And those conversations, we've seen them. Just last weekend, we were having rallies in Bulawayo, not big rallies in stadiums, but small rallies where she's able to interact, where people are able to ask questions, where people are able to say their views. So that is the experience that we have had.
And were you also part of the free, fair elections protests and marches that took place in the past few weeks?
Well, it's not about those marches, but it's about the demands. Unfortunately, our demands are a bit, there's a small difference. We are demanding the implementation of the electoral law, while others are demanding new things that are probably, some of them are not in the electoral law. So we are demanding a free and fair election. We've been demanding a voters' roll. So those are the administrative issues that we have been saying. Let's implement what the electoral law says. So those are our demands.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Thank you.
And that was Fortune Mlalaza, Deputy Spokesperson of the People's Rainbow Coalition in Zimbabwe, just giving us more detail. As you know, that the coalition of 4 political parties formed in October 2017 by former ZANU-PF Vice President Joyce Mujuru is also campaigning. As we know that the elections will be taking place on the 30th of July. But now that's all the news making headlines across the African continent. From Milesego Mokonane and the rest of the Africa Tonight team, Salani Gahle.